aborted baby parts into lab animals. Have you heard?
Okay, I'll say this. Lauren Boebert is super hot, okay? She is super hot.
Heard of that sort of research?
Yeah, we did an...
What'd she say?
Implant aborted baby parts into lab animals. Have you heard of that sort of research?
Yeah, we did an analysis a few years ago showing that over 90% of experiments with using human fetal tissue and putting them involved animals were funded by Fauci's NIAID.
Do you know where they're getting the aborted human fetal tissue?
A lot of it is happening at colleges and universities that have affiliated hospitals that perform that procedure.
Madam Chair, I think we need to look into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like that why are they grafting aborted babies into mice, right? I heard that they said they're doing other, like, giving them transgendered surgeries. What? Why are you fucking around with animals? I mean, I hope they're mice, they're not dogs. Oh, that'd be all too awful, right? You get this lovely little beagle, right? And you suddenly make him into a chick. I don't think the dog will like it. I don't think the dog will like it, okay? I don't think the dog will like it. That's just me. I'm no expert. I'm no veterinarian. I'm no doctor. I just think that's fucked up, right? I just think that's... What's that line from Jurassic Park? The scientists weren't worrying so much if they could do something. They shouldn't. They never asked themselves if they should do something. Yeah. Yeah, just... Anyway, the age of woke is over. Thank God. So Taylor Swift, she heavily endorsed Kamala Harris. And I don't know if she was just... Did she believe what she was saying? I really don't know. Here's the reception she got, right? Again, she's used to being adored by everybody. Yeah, she's being roundly booed. Like, what's going on? What's going on? It means it means that people are sick of your woke bullshit. Yes, you can sell $1 billion in tickets to idiot teenagers. Oh, that doesn't really make you a pundit, darling, right? That doesn't make you a pundit. Compared to Trump's reception at the Super Bowl. Well, this whole Super Bowl was really designed at the time when they thought Trump was going to lose, right? That's when everything came out. Hang on a sec, we'll just scoot forward to...
we had at the twilight's last gleaming.
Yeah, when I have a real Super, he's doing well though. I like that. Okay, that you're crying at the national anthem. I don't know if you're crying at the national anthem. I don't know who you are, but I like that. Right? Yeah. Okay, look at this. It's so American. Okay, that looks a bit. What's that? What's that movie? Not Galaxy Troopers. Is it Star Troopers? The like quasi-fascist. No, the super fascist one. They just didn't say it was fascist. That was a really good movie. Is it Starship Troopers? Right? That looks a bit Starship Troopers, mate. I have to tell you. But again, listen to the cheer he gets. Why? Because they're done with this batshit stupid insanity. Oh, I forgot to download this other clip. Where is it? Over here. Where he's asked a stupid question. And he deals with it like a human being. Oh. One second. Can I find it? No. People are crazy. Stupid question. Let's see if I can pull that up. Oh, dumb question, I think he said. Dumb. Duh. And again, I just like he talks like a human being. And here it is. The liberals are just losing their mind. They are literally losing, which is going to be a major segment of tonight's show, because who did indeed call the crazes. They really did. Question. Doink. There we go. Let's open this up. Share screen. There we go.
Suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't like, They can just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither.
What?
Just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that? What you don't like,
The Supreme Court rules in a way you don't like. What's the question?
they can just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
I don't
Make it so you just what? I mean, I don't know.
know even what.
By the way, can you see the A on the map there? That's the Gulf of America. And I love that he's doing that. Oh, God. I mean, like, America first, right? And it doesn't mean you hate anywhere else. It means and every country should be like this. If every country puts themselves first and respects everybody else, everybody has a stronger country. It's crazy. But what the hell was that? You don't answer the question.
What you're talking about. Neither do you.
Exactly. You don't understand what you're talking about, neither do
Who are you
you.
with?
Up close, sir.
Who?
Up close.
Oh, no wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they died. All right, go ahead. Who else?
I mean, he's giving more press conference, I think. Certainly more press conference than Biden has in his whole term in the first 3 weeks. Like, it's such a transparent president. And again, the liberals are melting down. Oh, look at this.
Weeks into the second Trump presidency,
Caitlin Collins, one of the worst journalists I've ever. And what's she wearing? What's that medallion she's got on? Is that to ward off the evil eye? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how she got into position. I mean, do you remember about a year ago she did a town hall with Trump and he just tore her up? Oh.
weeks. And tonight there are warnings that the U.S. is dangerously close to a constitutional crisis.
No, it's not.
Now, the first shoe on this dropped when a federal judge today said the White House is defying his order to unfreeze billions of dollars in federal aid.
Yeah. Look, there's all these insane leftist activist judges, right? And they're all going bye-bye too. Check this out, right? This is what the lawfare is like, right? And it's going on. And here's the thing. I think they're going to lose every single battle, right? I think they're going to lose every battle. New Congressman Ellie Crane from Arizona is filing articles of impeachment against a U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer, an activist judge who has issued a ruling blocking Dodge. Yeah. So Dodge is doing an audit on the government to find spending, and he's made it illegal for them to be able to view the Treasury's documents. Partisan judges abusing their position is a threat to democracy. Judge Engelmeyer is attempting to stop the White House employees from accessing the very systems they oversee. Where in the Constitution does it say the president and his team cannot root out obvious waste, fraud, and abuse? Nowhere. But they don't want to admit there's obvious waste, fraud, and do I have that clip from Jon Stewart? And I'm not really a fan of Jon Stewart, but hang on. Jon Stewart, because it really shows you this insane arrogance of waste. See if it comes up. The extreme, here it is, of the people we're dealing with here. Oh, God, they're the worst. 1 second. Doink. Waste. There we go. Oh, wrong thing. Wait, hey, let's go back to Caitlin Collins because see what again. I can't believe they're still on the same media spin. It failed over and over. He's president again, right? You threw every bit of shit at him you possibly could, and it failed. When you can get the memo, it's not working. It's not working because nobody gives a shit about what you have to say.
That we've had a judge expressly accuse the Trump administration of ignoring a court ruling. And in a separate case today, federal employees here in Washington told a judge that the...
do you remember when Biden said he's going to forgive all college debt and the Supreme Court said no? And he was like, was that a constitutional crisis? No, this is just lawfare.
The administration was defying another order by not reinstating workers who had been put on leave.
They've been put on leave because they're about to be fired. Yeah, it's over. USAID is over. And boy, did they find so many USAID packages in Gaza. Right, we're going to get to Gaza in a minute.
Now, this all has prominent Democrats and many of the nation's top constitutional scholars declaring that the U.S. is on the brink of a reckoning.
Yeah, I think you might be full of pee-pee. Full of doo-doo, darling. Full of doo-doo, right? Maybe full of pee-pee as well, but full of shit. Anyway, Jon Stewart, not a great fan of his, but boy, is he able to skewer the administration when he does. Check this out.
Like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and waste, fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decode.
That's true. An audit uncovers waste, fraud, and abuse. But you no, audit and ain't waste, fraud. No, not the same thing.
Then please educate me on
Sure.
what
So an
the
audit is
difference
exactly what you just described,
Yes.
which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit or the fact that the DOD has not passed an audit is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yes, it is.
That is completely false right
That's completely true.
there. So
what is
now
it
it's a question of it's
Good for you, Jon Stewart. So what's it suggestive of?
suggestive that we don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where. That is not the same as saying we can't do that because waste, fraud, and abuse has occurred.
No, I know. That's the next step when you go, well, why can't you pull it up? Oh, because we wasted it, we were fraudulent with it, and we abused it.
So in my world,
Yeah.
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you are not responsible. But if you can't
I love how she's like, ha, 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 you silly little yokel.
tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? And when there has been reporting, I mean, this is not, look, I'm not saying this is on you and
I am.
that you
I don't even know who she is.
caused this, but I think it's a tough argument to
I'm pretty
make
sure I
that
didn't cause it.
an $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went. Like, I think most
Look at her thumbs. Look at how her nervous movement of her thumbs. Finally being asked questions she can't answer on the
that
spot.
money went, like, I think most people would consider that somewhere in the realm of waste, fraud, or abuse, because they would wonder why that money isn't well accounted for. And especially when they see food insecurity on military bases, and they see...
You want to talk about that? Because that's a good... we should be talking... I mean,
Well,
I'm
it's
trying to
all-
understand
is-
where you're trying to go, other than the dollars, which...
Dollars is quite important because it's the people's dollars, right? That's I would say that's very, very important.
really
it's-
bother you.
Yeah, it does. It really bothers everybody apart from you because you're stealing it, so you don't want to like focus on it, and we're having it stolen from us, so we do want to focus on
I
it.
think it doesn't really bother me. I think it's all connected.
Okay.
I think
tell
when
me,
I
tell
look...
me that story. Tell me how you're thinking
Well,
about that.
when I see
Tell me that story. Oh God, you make me want to vomit.
a State Department get a certain amount of money and a military budget be 10 times that.
Again, I think we've seen the intense arrogance. Again, it's over. Oh, it's so incredibly over, right? They're just, and I don't think they realize how over. They certainly don't realize how over it is, right? They do not realize how over it is. Meanwhile, I think the world might be about to blow up, right? I do think the world might be about to blow up because of Gaza once again. So I don't know what to tell you, right? Because you know, do we have the pictures of them? We all saw the hostages return. Here, we share the screen. Doink. Because we all saw the picture of the hostages return on Saturday, and they looked like they walked out of Schindler's List. By the way, this guy, hostage Shlomo Mansour, 85, was slain on October 7th. His body held in Gaza. Fucking scum they are. Oh, God, they make me want to retch, right? Hamas tells Trump, threats have no value as Israeli far-right praises ultimatum. God, I hate times of Israel. It's not far right. It's most people praise the ultimatum, right? Now, what is this? Oh, here, do we have a picture of the hostages that they returned? Should be somewhere. Man, Connie went off on a bender. Okay, Connie. Here, maybe. One second. We'll do. I can't remember the name of them. Let me find it here. Oh, wait. Bound, gagged, and starved. Yeah, how the hostages were treated, just insane. Apparently, there's been proof of life for this guy from a few months ago. I don't know if any of them are still alive. Yeah, you're right. Fine. So you see, so this poor guy. Holy crap! Which had the before and after picture of him. This poor guy, right? It's awful. His wife and daughter was murdered, and he didn't know on October 7th. He says he's looking forward to seeing them again. All right, and all these people, like, look at them; they look like skeletons. Do they have a before and after picture? Hang on, let's have a look. No. Yeah, okay, before and after. Like this guy and this guy, the same person, right? This guy, same. And yeah, this is a guy who lost his family and didn't know about it. My heart breaks for him. Right. Genuinely, my heart breaks for him. Right. It's awful. Right. It's absolutely. Of course. By the way, here, Owen Jones is such a piece of anti-Semitic filth that he cannot let there be any negative light against his murdering, raping pieces of filth and must, which he loves to death because he hates Jews. So he shared this picture. Teacher Ibrahim al-Shamirs before being detained, after being detained. So you'll see, they do the same thing to the Palestinians. They're just as bad. Excuse me. Teacher Ibrahim al-Shawish is suffering from cancer and is being treated in an Israeli hospital, all right, while dying from cancer. And like, they're so desperate to draw a moral equivalence, right? To say they're morally superior. They're desperate. And why are they desperate? Because they're so morally inferior. Anyway, Trump's had enough, right? So I don't know what this means, right? I'll give you some news from the ground. Yeah, that's what he said about it.
Reports there that Hamas was going to stop releasing Israeli hostages, and what was your reaction?
I think it's terrible. Look,
listen, why are they going to stop releasing hostages? Because they didn't realize how much shit they were going to get from how awful the hostages look, and I don't think they're going to look any better after this, if there's any alive, right? I don't know if there's any more still. Maybe 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, not many. It's incredible though. Like my wife. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, look, this hostage deal is to get out the living hostages, and then we're going back to war, right? We're going back to war, hopefully in a different way. And also Egypt's massing tanks along the Gaza border as well. I'm hoping that's to stop the Gazans, because they do not want the Gazans in any way, shape, or form, right? They do not want them. Right, rather than to invade and protect the Gazans and go to war with Israel, I find that unlikely. But man, when I see a bunch of tanks massing, and both my sons are in the tank brigade, I'm like, what's going on there, right? But like Trump is like, this is bullshit.
Looked at the hostages that came in, and they're emaciated. It looked like something out of the 1930s. It's an absolute disgrace. And I think they saw the way the world viewed it, and they're looking for a reason not to send more because they're all, you take a look at that.
Yeah, and they're shocked. But they are alive! Sure, we tortured and starved them for a year and a half. They still live. Why you cry? You weak people.
It looked like it was a concentration camp, which essentially it was. It looks like they came out of the Holocaust. And what a sad thing. One of them was a young man, good-looking guy, a little bit heavier than perhaps he could have been, and now
See, this is why I'd always be nervous about meeting Trump. He'll tell the truth to me. People don't like truth.
It looks like he's not even recognizable. Not even recognizable.
Is this ceasefire deal at risk of falling apart?
Look, I can tell you that those people have been badly hurt, both mentally and physically.
Oh man, what they did to them mentally they kept saying, "Oh, we're going to release you. Nobody cares about you." The first days of the war, they said they don't care about you, Israel. They've forgotten you. You're over, right, man? I can't imagine what it's like to be under that sort of psychological torture.
I'm talking about the young women that came out also previously. And I think one of the reasons they're doing this is because they're probably sending the best. What you see is probably the best because they want to send people that look at least healthy. And that's not healthy. These people have been badly hurt. They've been interviewed by our representatives. They've been interviewed by Israeli representatives, and they're really hurting. They are really hurting, mentally and physically.
Oh, but that's not the ultimatum.
What might the difference delay that, sir? Should the ceasefire then be off?
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out. And I don't think they're going to do it. I think a lot of them are dead. I think a lot of the hostages are dead. I think
Me too.
it's a great human tragedy.
So again, 2-3 weeks ago, my wife was not happy about this ceasefire deal. I said the function of it is to get out the living hostages, how many they are. Now she's like, oh, look, they're all dead. Just like carpet bomb them. They're not going to carpet bomb them. Which, although I do think if hostilities start again, we're going to be able to fight this war like any other country fights a war, right? And I think Trump will have our back to do that.
What's happened? How people can be that mean to do. I mean, the one guy was laughing when a hostage he thought his family was alive, found out the family was dead, and his captor, so to speak, started laughing because he thought it was so funny. You know, this is a different group of people. No.
Yeah, I would say Trump is honestly one of the first moral world leaders I've ever seen. Right? It's blowing my mind. It is blowing my mind. But what does that mean? All hell's going to break loose, right? What does that mean? I don't know. Look, my son is his army service is up in about a month and a half, right? And they wanted to like give him to his Miller Wim, which is like you when you become a reservist. He wants to start his reserve duty straight away, but they sound like they're being nice to him because he's newly married, right? So he was looking like he was going to come home for the Sabbath, and then he said, "Oh, I don't know, it's looking dodgy." But as of today, he said coming home on Thursday, and I'm going to be home for about till Tuesday, I think. Which doesn't sound like things about to kick off. I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what pressure Trump has to bring on them. I guess he can he can't put sanctions or remove. He can remove aid from the Palestinians, from Jordan, from Egypt. He can make their life very, 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 very hard, and he wants them to take the hostages, right? Not the hostages, the Palestinians, which is really, the only solution, I'm afraid, because look, here's the fact, right? We start off by saying, "Oh, this is just against Hamas. It's not against the people of Gaza." Trouble is, 99% of the people of Gaza are Hamas, right? And there's going to be no peace with them here because they would rather be killed en masse than make peace with us. That's really the bottom line. So this is why I think his plans are genius. After this, we will get to
build beautiful communities for the 1.9 million people. We'll build beautiful communities, safe communities. Could be 5, 6, could be 2, but we'll build safe communities a little bit away from where they are, where all of this danger is. In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future. It would be a beautiful.
Again, I keep telling my son, find a nice bit of coastline next to where they're going to build. Was it Trump Plaza? Put a flag in it so we can build a house right next door.
Piece of land.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them. Because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever. It's not habitable.
And they keep saying, "Oh, Gaza's a concentration camp. Well, come on out here. We'll build you a lovely home." No, we'll take it. I mean, like,
it will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt.
I think you could do, because they're very much dependent upon you.
Give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. America has a lot of power, and they're flexing their power, and it is great. Oh, it is great to behold. It is wonderful. So I don't know what's going to happen. I know it's interesting though, from a Kabbalistic point of view. On tomorrow night is a minor Jewish holiday called Tu B'Shvat, which is the New Year for trees. I talked about it the other day, right? And it's when the reality that they basically from September until April, right? A reality that has been built has been growing in utero, and you get to the first real concrete signs of it by Tu B'Shvat, and it's like, yeah, okay. So if we're gonna go to a major war again against, by the way, we beat Lebanon, we beat Hezbollah so badly they had to change things because they're like a real country, right? They're like, well, we can't let them destroy everything. Gaza's like, no, turn it all to rubble. We're fine with it, says the Gazans. So I don't know. And then a month later, we have the miraculous holiday of Purim, where we get blind drunk. Maybe we'll see miracles, and then we have the rebirth of Passover, which is 1 month after that. So we're in an interesting 2-month cycle, right? And we're just ending up this other cycle called Shovavim, which how many weeks is it? 6-week period where a lot of the creative energy that builds reality comes into the world for the year. And again, boy, have you seen Trump getting a pure access to that, right? So, I think that's we could be. I hope we are in for a wild couple of months, right? That would be fantastic. Maybe, who knows or dares to dream where we will be after this. Anyway, you want to see really bizarre diddums? Check, this is insane. I was going to skip this for time, but no. It's only 30 seconds long.
Sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that
because you're batshit fucking crazy, darling, as you're about to find out.
You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house.
Because he's sane and you're batshit crazy.
I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And
you must be a joy to be with, darling.
And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So,
but you threw him at the house.
I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to.
I think it's going to hurt you, and you just don't want to. Okay, listen to her brilliant plan on how to punish her husband for voting Republican.
I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way. I think sleeping with his friends will do. What do you guys think? His liberal friends, of course.
It probably doesn't have any, because most liberals are like you. Crazy things are going down, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, another 2 years worth of news, right? I mean, like, let's start at the end, because this is the most mind-blowing thing, right? Let's start at the end, and then we'll see how we got there. Share screen. So this got dug up. So, by the way, all this stuff is public record. Just nobody thought to look for it, right? So the reason this started is because who was it? Somebody gave Elon Musk some shit from Reuters. Gave Elon Musk some shit, and he says, "I wonder how much Reuters is receiving from the government." I'll check. Oh boy, I wonder if you can find that tweet. Hang on, I have to go to. He tweets a lot though, doesn't he? So, it was just yesterday. So, will I be able to find the thing? Because it's really funny. Because he's just looked for it, and but it's amazing how absolutely bonkers they are. I mean, and they're absolutely bonkers. He pinned it at the top of his thing. Can't find it. I can't find it. It says, and here's the thing. Oh, by the way, Cash Patel looks like he's getting the push through. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be so good. Oh, man. I can't believe that Tulsi Gabbard's got confirmed. Okay. So anyway, they did some digging, and they came up with this. So let me show you this. $9 million, right? A $9 million receipt. Now, what's it for? This is to Reuters, right? Reuters news service. Why? For active social engineering defense. Really? So what does that actually mean? Large-scale deception, LSD, right? Why do people think they know things when they really don't? And they're convinced they do know things because of things like this. Right? Why are people convinced that Donald Trump praised white supremacists, right, in Charlottesville? Because of things like this. Essentially what it is, you get one news organization to write something bogus, and you get the other one to quote the other one. Then the first one quotes the second, and they quote each other, and they create a fake reality. And now they do this all completely over social media, right? And it's Yeshiva World News, such a Jewish website. But it's and it's they put it all over social media and the media, and it creates. I'm having this Facebook it's not even fine. I'm trying to help this guy, right? He's a viewer, I really am. I'm trying to help him, who really genuinely believes there's going to be some kind of Holocaust of gay people, and he believes it, and he's so paranoid and scared. He's and I keep pointing out he doesn't have any facts at all. Now he's moved on, but he's a convicted felon. Convicted felon. I said, yeah, the convictions are going to be tossed on a pill. They have no legal merit at all. Convicted felon. What do you mean? So then, guys, bonkers because of this shit. Because of this mass manipulation shit. $9 million. I think this is a 1 month payment. Are they paying, how much are they paying the news organizations to look for large-scale deception? I mean, really? Maybe, what? You could have called it Project, I don't know, edging or something. Not large-scale deception. Are you kidding me? Start date. This is $9 million over 4 years. Well, okay, there you go. I've been being pejorative for no reason. Okay, so they're freaking out over Elon Musk. They're freaking out over Dodge, right? And so they had one of the greatest press conferences I ever saw the other day, which we're going to look at now, because it's brilliant. Oh man, it is so good. Where do we start with this one? Here. So this is what warming.
How do you stop looking? I mean, we've already found it. We have a case in New York where a hotel has paid $59 million. $59 million because it's housing migrants, illegal migrants. All illegal, I believe.
And they were being paid twice the normal room rate at 100% occupancy.
Unbelievable.
So it's a racket.
Mr. Musk, I have asked you a question.
Right, and you wonder why all the hotels are filled in London, because it's the same racket. And don't you think Sadiq Khan is making money out of it? He is totally making money out of it, right? They all are. They're all on the bloody take. They're all on the make. They are. That's really what it boils down, which is what this is showing. Okay. Firstly, the Treasury Department had a policy of saying yes to any invoice presented to it, right? So, there are people who have been getting $1 million a month salaries for consulting who haven't done any work probably in 10 years, right? The amount of waste it could be close to $1 trillion. The national debt is $2 trillion. Trump could half that national debt in the space of a few months. That's crazy, right? That is crazy. And then you got these judges who are saying no, they want to block you from auditing. I mean, like, yeah, but Elon Musk talks about it. It's crazy.
So it's a racket. Well, if I may sort of.
Yeah, anyway, so again, it's one of the it's a press conference that you could only see in this bizarre day and age we live in. It's so, I mean, like, well, look, it's just so freaky. It really is. It's so insane. Elon Musk's son was there, of course. Made a lot of headlines.
This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
And he's got this, check out this cool chain he's got.
So thank you very much. We had a busy day today. The king just left, and we've had a great discussion, terrific discussion concerning Gaza. And
yeah, the idea that they are floating of moving the Gazans out of Gaza. If you said that, you would have been mowed down like a year ago. It's crazy, right? And the Egyptians do not like it. They do not like it at all. What are we up to? Yeah, I think this one was a pretty good one.
Not a good feedback loop from the people to the government. And if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided.
Okay, by the way, one of the reasons it's brilliant is one of the things they freak out about is how Elon Musk is an unpaid, unelected bureaucrat billionaire. What? So he's about to be calling out all the unpaid, not unpaid, very highly paid. He's going to be calling out all the very highly paid faces bureaucrats.
And then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback, we fix that feedback.
I love that the Spockish way he's talking that will just confound older people.
And that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy.
So that's what they're calling a constitutional crisis. Basically, you have the elected officials coming up against the bureaucracy, and the bureaucracy is like saying, we're in charge. And they say, no, you're not.
This is not to say that there aren't some good. There are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the.
Well, you had one for a long time.
People. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you asked the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government.
Which is exactly what they call Elon Musk, this unelected, unconstitutional fourth branch of government. That's exactly what they're calling Elon Musk. It's incredible how he's like very actively turning it back.
Which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it's not. It does not match the will of the people. So it's.
Well, to be fair, it does match the will of some of the people, and a very small amount. And also, it's what a very small amount of people want. But most people, 99.9%, no, not so into it.
Just something we've got to fix, and we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense. But and if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide.
I mean, like, God, how good must you feel if you're Trump? You've got literally Elon Musk on your shoulder fighting your case, like arguing your case for you.
Things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt.
Now, they have found some far more entertaining things. What was this stuff over here? Elon Musk. This is one of the things they're going to be doing, which has freaked them out. Sign chronic.
Right. Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a
again that he's sitting there with his kid. I think it's lovely, right? It's there's a very good picture. Let's see if I can find it. With comparing like JFK with his like baby son or toddler son in the White House. What do I even search? Elon Musk JFK photo. See if that comes out. I really should. You know what? I should look in Grok. Why not look in Grok? Oh, here it is. There you go. Here. I did think this is a lovely picture. Hang on. Doink. Over here. Doink. There we go. I mean, it's like it's a real. I feel like it's a real return to cherishing family values, right? Which is like that's been like just gone from the world for so long, right? I think it's really, really, really sweet, right? I genuinely, it's a lovely comparison between the two. Anyway, over to you, Elon.
People in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened to USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But they seem to be mysteriously, they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from?
I think it's called stealing, Elon. I think it's called stealing. I think that's what happens.
And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at taxpayer expense. That's the honest truth of it. So, we're looking at, we just.
Oh, well, yeah. So again, look, is he going to go after Nancy Pelosi? Oh, that'd be awesome. I mean, why not? Why not? And I think they're also going to start arresting people who are, they're going after people who are helping illegal aliens get away from ICE, right?
And billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's very important. And that's one of the reasons I got elected. I say we're going to do that. Nobody had any idea it was that bad, that sick, and that corrupt. And it seems hard to believe that judges want to try and stop us from looking for corruption, especially when we found hundreds of millions of dollars worth, much more than that, in just a short period of time.
I think that's because the judges are getting some of that corrupt money there, Donald. I think that's what's going on.
We want to weed out the corruption. And it seems hard to believe that a judge could say, we don't want you to do that. Well, so maybe we have to look at the judges because that's a very serious, I think it's a very serious violation.
So weirdly enough, strange coincidence, right? There is a really weird coincidence. There was this judge. Let me see if I can pull him up. I had bookmarks in there. I should pull that up as well. That's pretty cool. Where is he? Oh, yeah, this dude. Oh, God. He sounds like he looks like exactly the kind of person I don't like. Oh, here, I'll just go grab this picture. That's the easiest way of doing it. Doink. Oh, Captain Hall Monitor. Oh, this is Judge, who is it? Not Judge Dredd. This is Federal Judge John Bates has ordered that Trump administration restore HHS, CDC, and FDA websites information providing for sex change operations and gender ideology. No federal judge can compel the government to assist in the mutilation and destruction of children. The Trump administration should refuse. They are refusing, right? So I think it's this judge. He is totally backing down. Like, says you don't have the authority to fire all those people you're firing, and now he's like, oh, you mean you might? It hasn't even occurred to them they could get looked into, right? Like the lawfare that they wielded is going to be turned against them, right? And they don't get it. It's crazy. Right, it's crazy the amount they don't get it. Okay, if you talk about J.D. Vance and Trump, it's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, we should do a little bit. Because J.D. Vance said, what the fuck, to Europe, essentially. I heard they're firing 200,000 IRS workers. Can I just say, yes, motherfucking yes. Oh, man, no one is going to cry a tear about that. You got to go a long way to find anybody who's going to be uptight about that, darling. Are you crazy? Oh, I mean, look, for me, this is bittersweet. It really is, because I believe this is the Messiah of the nation of Edom, which most of you are in, essentially. This is the good of Edom. You know, he had the bad of Edom. They were the National Socialists from Germany. Yeah, they weren't so good. Right, we had the good of Edom. That's Trump. Oh, man. I think this is messianic times. And that's why he's going through everything like a hot knife through butter. Like, he's moving like a skilled Jedi. And he's Donald Trump. He's still done. But he is. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like him and Elon Musk. I mean, like, they've never seen, efficiency before. Holy crap. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The presidency is off the chart. So anyway, J.D. Vance, the vice president, who apparently isn't there isn't a successor apparently. I guess, J.D. Vance, this is time to shine. Look, you've been given the platform. Make yourself stand out. And oh, fuck, did he do that? Right? He went and gave a spanking to Europe that you wouldn't believe. Oh, my God. And it was a delight. And they are not happy. We've got a few clips. Maybe we won't go through all of them.
Fortunately, when I look at Europe today, it's sometimes not so clear what happened to some of the Cold War's winners. I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content.
Yeah, it's somebody calling them out to their face for their bullshit.
Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. I look to Sweden, where 2 weeks ago the government convicted a Christian activist for participating in Koran burnings that resulted in his friend's murder. And as the judge...
Oh, yeah, but probably the murder. And I think... He's not as dynamic as Trump. That's the thing. Trump's just fun. JD, you need a bit more fun. Okay? I mean, it is fun to do this, I guess. But you need a bit more fun.
Judge, in his case, chillingly noted, Sweden's laws to supposedly protect free expression do not, in fact, grant, and I'm quoting, a free pass to do or say anything without...
Well, after that, I think Trump's era is going to be so unbelievably successful that anybody would just walk into the presidency, frankly. Right? I mean, it's kind of like Bush following Reagan. Right? I don't think his presidency is going to be unbelievably successful. Like, I want to play more of it, but JD, mate, it's great that you're doing this, but you're a bit dull. I don't want to tell you. I'm running a show here, and Trump has to head it. Well, let's hear him call out Britain by name. That's better.
I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes.
Man, again, he's so calling it out. I mean, good. I have to say, I have so much respect for him as the vice president and as a Christian. 100%. And honestly, I believe Trump to be a messianic figure. I think Christianity is, essentially the religion of Edom, of Esau, right? Of Trump. And I think you guys are being blessed, and rightly so. Right, so for me, this is kind of bittersweet, because I think if we weren't such insane fuck-ups here over in Israel, we would. Have you noticed that everywhere has a populist leader apart from Israel? Right, Israel, nothing at all. I think that because the absence of that is really the absence of our Messiah, right? And that would be like this, charismatic populist leader who like says normal shit. And defends his values, but like, good for him as a Christian. But my point is this: I think Christians, the meek have inherited the earth, and good for you, and well deserved. Frankly, I have to tell you, well deserved.
Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a
It's got worse, mate. It's got worse.
Badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law.
Now, I mean, I'll be fucked because I don't at home all the time. I pray at home all the time. I'm not going to make a synagogue. I'll do it here, right? I mean, like, really? Like, how much am I going to owe? I don't know. Maybe if my prayer is shitty. But, Your Honor, my prayer is shitty. We'll take that into account.
Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizens suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Yeah, you fear, it's true. But, JT, mate, JT, you're a fun guy. Okay, let me just show you, okay? This is how Trump does shit, okay?
And things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. They said...
I don't know why he's funny. But he just is. I'm like, go on, tell us what.
We have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, it's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it because...
Yeah, that's one of the superpowers he's got. He was able to... He did buy into that hype. And the last time he did that publicly was when Kamala Harris said that people don't even go to his rallies. And he was like, what the fuck? What a lie. If I could, in the hindsight, his response could have been, the only person who ever left the rally early was me, when one of your fans had me shot in the head. But that was the last time I heard. Now, I think, why is Harry Potter so great, right? Because it says a lot of true things. And I think anything that is great is also true. So, they have the evil spirit, the demon, the boggart, right? Which takes the form of your greatest fear. And the spell to disempower is ridiculous, right? Look at how ridiculous what it is that you're scared of. right, of the whatever you think it is, and it dissipates instantly. And that's what he's done, essentially. It's again, we're watching somebody who has grown majorly as human, but he's just more entertaining to watch. I don't know why. His face looks like it's made of tang. I don't know fucking why. But it's more interesting. Okay, what do you got to say?
Because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
Firstly, this is just such a weird visual. Like, this is reality we're living in, and it's so bonkers. It's Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I mean, like, I don't, like, what? How? Is this a crossover? What's going on? It feels like we're in a bizarre parallel dimension and a really funny one. I tell you. Oh, that's it. Ow. Press the wrong thing. And you know, and they're all freaking out that he's doing so well. Donald Trump. It's here. What's it? Last clip. Then we'll get to the chat. There you go. This is it.
Things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing.
Okay. This is 21 days into his presidency, right? The positive net approval rating for Trump has been the entire 21 days. Yeah, it's only 21 days. When he looked over at his first term, the entire presidency was 11 days, right? He's already coming up to doubling his entire first presidency. He's doing very well, right? And it's just freaking CNN out.
Campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46% of all Americans who said that Trump was doing what he promised to do.
Yeah, why? Because he had no idea what he was walking into. Now he fucking knows. Blimey. One time round and he's learned everything.
Compare that now to February of 2025. You know, there was a good show that was on during the 1990s called A Different World. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%.
Yeah, and that actually makes an interesting feedback loop, which is the opposite of the feedback loop we had last time. Last time, in 2016, we had media screaming, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. Anything they could say was bad, he went bad. So everyone went Trump bad. They fed back and said, oh, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump. Now, because people have had such shitty lives because of they were conned into voting for Biden. They've made the conscious decision to say Trump good, right? And now so you have media, which is much the same as going Trump bad, I say good, so I listen. So instead of their changing their mind or validating their beliefs, right? They're sending people away, right? They're making people run from them, so the power of their suggestion of Trump bad, it gets even less and less and less and less.
Americans are 24 points more likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do. It's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on the positive side of the ledger than on the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far versus just 11 days during his entire first term, that Trump has a positive net approval rating. Quite a different world.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And, you have to ask, when will people notice? I don't know. There is I wish I could remember what episode it was from. If I can find this clip, I will play this right now of Kalis. Right, I see Kalis. It was that episode of Star Trek. I see Kalis. Right. It wasn't called I see Kalis. Kalis comes back from the dead. Turns out to be a clone. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Kalis gives a story. He says, "I once saw a man standing out. A storm was coming. I once saw a man standing out, waiting for it. We said, 'Come in. The storm will consume.' He says, 'I will not move for a storm.' I went inside and I never saw him again." Or something like that, right? That's basically where people are. It's over. Dude, it's over. The back of the beast is broken, right? It's like, I know what to tell you. Now we're just mopping up the survivors. They're like, again, 200,000 they just fired. That's crazy. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.